Update 35 for Dead Cells marks the end of our creative journey on the game. I am all too aware that my channel is little more than a soapbox for me to bitch and moan about this or that, but I wanted to take a moment today to share some good vibes for once. Motion Twin, after more than 5 years, have announced the end of support for Dead Cells. Dead Cells, if you didn't already know, is a Metroidvania roguelike platformer indie game, and since its release in 2018 up to its retirement as of today, I've been incredibly pleased. I'm just gonna come out and say that Dead Cells is fucking awesome. It deserves your money. But I'll be honest, Motion Twin and the Dead Cells team Evil Empire had a lot to prove here. The allusions to Dark Souls were immediately obvious and unfortunate being what it was. Even if you don't hate the Souls series like I do, it just sounded like another genre cash grab. At times it even adopted the slogan of kill, die, learn, repeat, which is honestly just the worst way to advertise your game, especially if the gameplay loop isn't just trial and error. Thankfully it wasn't, and Dead Cells' only similarity to Dark Souls is in its brutal difficulty. That, however, didn't help that this was yet another pixel art aesthetic indie platformer, which was a genre that had also oversaturated the market around the time of its release. Coming out as a paid early access title was perhaps the biggest red flag though, because cautious gamers like myself were well aware of how similar games turned out to be scams. Instead, Dead Cells became a poster child for how to do justice to your game and audience. Firstly, it mustn't go without being said that Motion Twin is a French workers' cooperative, very uncommon business model, and financially successful in a creative industry no less. That is really cool. You might think I'd turn my nose up at the Red Star a little bit, but I honestly wish there were more workers cooperatives, and Motion Twin is a blueprint for how to do it. Dead Cells spent only a year in early access before releasing 1.0 to broadly positive reviews. What Dead Cells managed to nail right away, which so few games ever do, was the controls. It just feels good to run around and destroy shit.
You have two platforms, you want to jump from point A to point B, that's a very basic situation. When you start the jump, one time out of two, you're probably out of the platform when you press the jump button, like one frame too late and you are starting to fall. And in such a case, we actually allow you, when you are off a platform, we actually consider you're still on the platform for maybe 2-3 frames after. This part is what we call the just-in-time jump. It's something which, when it's not here, it's absolutely terrible. It suddenly feels like every jump in this game is suddenly becoming very difficult to just to perform. But when you allow the player to actually jump a little bit after the beginning, it makes everything suddenly feels like, okay, I always do my jump right on time. Maybe just it feels like I always jump this place. And that's the same when you reach the other platform. So the player is actually moving on the other side and the platform is here, but the character was actually here. We just cheat a little bit because we know that what you actually wanted to do, you actually pressed the jump button, you were on the platform 2 frames ago, and we just forget about that and allow you to do whatever you wanted to do.
That isn't to say that a similar effort wasn't put into the items. While not all created equally, you could tell that the developers just wanted you to have wacky, goofy fun with everything. And even if it eventually felt like some items were a bit too strong not to always take, Motion Twin would nerf the good items and buff the weak items to make them viable again. Excellent! Overthrow the meta! Dismantle systemic inequity! Ban Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring! I'm not even kidding, I love that they do this. Item pick rates should be equally distributed to preserve the variety of runs. Replayability is king in roguelikes. Every item needs attention, and I seriously doubt that any tears were shed because the katana lost its invincibility frames. The katana is still one of my favorite weapons in this game, and a sterling example of how Dead Cells set itself apart from other games. Dead Cells was a lot like Minecraft in that updates weren't just bug fixes, they weren't just balance patches, but free new content. You looked forward to updates like no other because there was almost always new items, new enemies, new biomes, new game modes, new cosmetics, and all of it was fucking free. It would have been so easy to take any part of that and turn them into microtransactions, and they didn't. Instead, they supported the game for over 2 years like this until they went, hey guys, don't panic or anything, but like, we want to keep working on Dead Cells and stuff, but it's kind of expensive, so would you be willing to buy a $5 expansion? It's like 3 updates. Yes! Please, take my money. Dead Cells is already half the price of any AAA title and better value than most of them. This is what DLC used to be when Xbox Live was new. Unlike Minecraft, you didn't need an account. Unlike Minecraft, there's no premium currency. And unlike Minecraft, the players had a substantial influence on what made it into the game.
After 1 week or something, we had so many feedback from players, because when they posted negative feedback, it was like 3 pages long, always. It was a huge post explaining why this thing sucks in your game. And most of the time was, at first it was, oh shit. But still we have a problem here that we should address, because this guy just wants the game to be good. He don't want to bash the game or whatever, he just wants to play a game that he will like. Those people, they want you to make a good game. They have all the interest into making this game as good as possible, just like us.
So shines a good deed in a weary world.
Katanas weren't in the base game, but players wanted a katana, so Motion Twin added one. Now you can EI quick draw through fucking everybody, it's awesome. That was free content. Players wanted the panchucks from the Bad Seed trailer, so Motion Twin added panchaku. Just look at the patch notes for this one update. Look at all of the community suggestions.
So fun fact for Dead Cells, the community probably built like 50% of the game.
I can't think of a single game that incorporated so much player feedback into their product, but I can think of many games, many AAA multi-million-dollar games that were shot out the door and left you starving for an update that did more than add fucking Kinect support.
Hi, my name is Ricky Gonzalez, and I'm here to tell you about the new Kinect integration in Skyrim. First up, shouts. With Kinect, your entire repertoire of shouts is available without opening a menu.
T. Goose row. Islanus. Yol Torshul. Only let it happen.
Now, I did have two big issues with Dead Cells. First is that it was just way too fucking hard to get the true ending. And to even have a chance to face the very definitely final boss, you essentially had to beat New Game plus. And when the game gets too hard for me, and I'm not even halfway close to getting that far, I don't think most people are gonna beat it. Second, the physical releases kinda sucked. The first version was 1.0 on console, and that's fine. But the second version, the Action Game of the Year edition, was literally the same game. All this extra content they advertised on the case, you still had to download. That's bullshit. They did secretly release a third version of the game with many of the updates on disc, but it only came with the Prisoners edition, which was an expensive limited quantity re-release, and I distinctly remember that that version was just shy of the all-important Katana update. Believe me, I bought all these. However, both of these issues were addressed with the Return to Castlevania edition. Return to Castlevania was not only a crossover wet dream with Dead Cells' main inspiration, a feat I challenge any developer to match, but it included every single update and expansion up to that point on disc, including the Katana, including the Panchaku, and including the deck of cards, which was an excellent Slay the Spire tie-in item that references the Watcher, a character that didn't even make it onto the physical release of their own fucking game. In addition to all of that, it includes an assist mode, so you can adjust the difficulty easily and consequence-free, so that even handicapped losers like me can finally beat Dead Cells. Update 35 obviously still adds to the game. Some new curse stuff, and that's cool and all, but I'm just happy to finally have a physical release of this game with at least 95% of what's been added and over half a decade's worth of free updates, expansions, and player feedback. Dead Cells is the game I will point to the next time some Zoomer schmuck balks at me and says, "You must not play many games. Every game needs to be a piece of shit on release, Omni. Every game has a pre-order bonus. Every game needs microtransactions. That's just the game industry these days. Warner Brothers can't afford to pay the poor little developers unless they carve out half the levels, make you sign up for an account, waive your rights, fuck your mom, kill your cat, burn your house down, shit a DMCA down your fucking throat." No game can compete in today's climate without the best graphics, a day one patch, a season pass, root level anti-cheat DRM, the works. If an end user license agreement doesn't smack me on the ass and call me toots the literal microsecond I open a new game, is it even really a game? You soulless corporate bootlicking shit skids make me sick.
Lord have mercy.
Sorry about all that. This was supposed to be a positive and celebratory video for a change, but you know how it goes. Dead Cells is awesome. Buy it. It's on everything. Not sponsored. Motion Twin, au revoir. Oh, dude, I love the Bible so much.